The Illinois Insurance Association is privileged today to have Representative Mike Unes, a Republican representative from the East Peoria area. And we are privileged to have him for the fact that today in the House of Representatives, the representative passed House Bill 3825, which puts additional penalties and provisions dealing with copper theft. And the association and our member companies want to thank you for your involvement in this issue and to address something that has been spiraling out of control for a long time. And we want to thank you for your efforts in passing this bill.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I want to thank you for having me this afternoon. You're right, it was just a little bit earlier on the House floor that House Bill 3825 passed. It's a very, very comprehensive approach to solving a serious problem, a very serious problem all across the country. Illinois, there's been reports, has been in the top 5 at the acceleration of copper thefts. And so this was a very important bill to get passed, and I'm proud to have passed it and proud to be here with you this afternoon.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that, behind all good legislation is there's reasons for proposing it. Could you give us an explanation as to how this bill came to your attention and why you thought it was something that needed to be addressed legislatively?
Sure. Well, there was hardly a day that went by in the Peoria area where we saw reports of copper thefts. And the more I started looking into it, the more I delved into this area, the more I learned about it. And the more I learned about it, I saw that this is a problem that we can fix. And this is something that we should fix. And 3825 does address that. We had a farmer in the Pekin area that was hit with his irrigation systems being affected and stolen not once, but multiple times. And it's really hard to find an industry, as I continued to look into this, it's hard to find an industry that's not affected by it. As you know, the insurance industry is affected with all the claims. The farming industry, we've had so many farmers that have been affected with it. There was a report elsewhere in the state of $80,000 worth of damage for just a few $100s worth of copper. And that's the thing that can continue to come back. The amount of damage that was being caused, I think it was last summer in the Peoria area, we had a whole strip mall that all of their HVAC units were sawed off in a matter of minutes and stolen right off the back of the strip mall. The amount of damage that causes for just a few $100s worth of copper is something, and that's what I'm most proud of in this bill. For the first of its kind, not only is the criminal going to be responsible for the amount of copper that was stolen, but they're also going to be responsible for the amount of damage that they cause, and that's going to go and take a part into the penalty that they receive.
Great. Well, we applaud you on your efforts. We know as an industry, and one of our member companies, being Pekin Insurance Company, located in Pekin, in your district, have come to us with, episode after episode of, the amount of damage that's caused when people come in and destroy heating and air conditioning units. You're absolutely right. It's an increased number of lost costs to our customers. And it's something that we think that if we can put some teeth into this, activity and prevent some of this from occurring, then everyone wins. You have insurance policyholders, you have, just society in general no longer having to be abused by, thieves who are looking to prey on businesses, residential areas, and construction areas.
Absolutely. I want to see this problem go away. And as we mentioned, it is tough to find an industry that's not affected. You look at the realtors, for example, or homeowners that are trying to sell their home or put their home up for rent and are afraid to put a for sale or a for rent sign out in front of their house because they don't want to give the signal that the house is vacant. It's really, really tough to find an industry that's not affected, not to mention what's been happening in cemeteries when we have some of our fallen soldiers, for example, which happened in my district. Those that fought for our freedoms, that their place of resting isn't even safe, and family members having to deal with their cemetery plaques being stolen because of this rash of problem, which I think is occurring because of a combination of the economy being down and the price of these metals being up, and that combination is causing this rash of problems. House Bill 3825, from all indications, is the most comprehensive approach nationwide to fixing this problem, and I want to see this problem go away. I want to see these thefts completely eliminated, and I think by putting teeth into it, like you said, and causing awareness to give these criminals, make these criminals think twice that they're no longer going to get a slap on the wrist, that these are serious problems, and 3825 corrects it.
Good. You know, one of the things that our industry has always been involved in, and that is trying to promote, you know, an environment, if you will, where, you know, there's less opportunities for theft, there's less opportunities for accidents to occur, which decreases the number of claims. You know, in our industry, you know, the claims drive the costs, and if we can eliminate them, reduce them, the benefit is going to be felt by customers, you know, of insurance companies and all of your constituents in your district. There's one more hurdle that we're going to have to overcome, and that will be making sure that, you know, we can get the bill passed in the Senate.
Absolutely.
And I know that, you know, with your continued involvement and efforts, that that shouldn't be a big problem.
Well, you're absolutely right. I'm going to see this through to the very end until the governor signs it. It needs to be signed into law sooner rather than later. This bill has great bipartisan support. I worked very hard on both sides of the aisle. We have over 50 co-sponsors on this bill. There's nearly 24 state associations and businesses from all over the state of Illinois who are proponents of this, which really drives home the point that this needs to be passed sooner rather than later. So it's now out of the House. I'm going to follow it through and help the Senate sponsor in the Senate, and then hopefully we can get the governor to sign this real soon.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Kevin,
you
very
very
much. Thank you.